What is jiu-jitsu?
So really, it's probably more accurate to call it Brazilian jiu-jitsu or submission wrestling. The origins were after the Japanese diaspora, where a lot of the Japanese were going to different parts of the country, of the world. A lot of Japanese ended up in Brazil, and with that they brought judo. So there was actually more people than just the Gracies. The Gracies are the biggest name, but they basically were judokins. They learned judo, and they kind of took the system and honed it to very specifically to fighting on the ground. Judo has an element of ground fighting, but generally in the sport, they don't allow it to continue for very long. Normally, if there's not a submission quickly, they stand it up again. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is taking that limitation away, and if the fight is on the ground, continuing the fight on the ground, if that makes sense.
What belt are you?
I'm purple belt.
How long does it take to become a black belt?
On average, it's like 8 to 14 years, depending on how slow of a learner. A lot of people tend to get theirs around 10 years, but there are exceptions. There's, very famous MMA fighters that have been able to achieve it in a shorter period of time than that, but it's unlike any martial art. It's the longest time to achieve a belt. Now, on average, 2 to 3 years per belt. There's only 5 belts in all of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu: white, blue, purple, brown, and black.
And you are a purple belt.
I am, so I'm in the middle of my journey.
How much longer will it take you to become a black belt?
That is up to my coach's interpretation. But I do, from most people I've spoken to, generally, once you reach purple belt, things move a little quicker.
Who is the person who determines to you that you can achieve the next belt?
It's generally based on who your coach is, but here in Saigon, we have a kind of a unique situation. Our club is a bit more of a cooperative with many coaches. So I grade through a club in Thailand that I have a relationship with, and I've had a long relationship with. And when I get closer to the point where I'm ready to grade, I go to Thailand and I grade with them.
Do you have to memorize lots of moves and then they test you on those?
There's some schools that do that, and that tends to be the Gracie philosophy. They do have a certain amount of techniques you need to know, but oftentimes it's based on ability, time, and merit, because it would be impossible to be completely based on ability. Someone who's 60 years old or a housewife with kids needs to be able to enter the system and inevitably progress. It can't only be about winning.
So people of any age can do jiu-jitsu?
I mean, listen, you get a lot of injuries, but I mean, absolutely. I think anybody can do this sport. I think it definitely is a physical sport. It's a combat sport. But anybody can progress through the system if they're determined and if they can overcome a lot of challenges. It's very humbling in the beginning.
Have you gotten injured before?
I'm injured as we speak. I'm constantly injured.
So if somebody wants to learn jiu-jitsu, what should they do?
Well, I guess the first question is you should kind of ask yourself why you want to learn. If you're just going to learn because you want to beat somebody up, it's really not the right sport, because, like I said, for the first few years, you're going to spend a lot of time just getting smashed, and it's going to be a very ego-destroying experience. Where, but if you're willing to look at it as a long-term investment and as making it part of your life, then I think it has a lot of rewards. Camaraderie, friendship, watching yourself develop, overcoming obstacles. It's really more of a life commitment than it is just picking up a hobby, because of the time involved to progress.
All right, well, Josh, thank you so much for your time.
No worries.
Good luck on that black belt.
Thanks. In time we'll get there, and in time you'll learn English.
I'm sure you will. Maybe I'll learn jiu-jitsu too.
I can't wait to train you guys.
All right. See ya.
Okay, guys, this position is called guard. It's offensive and defensive, and it allows you to fight on your back. I'm going to show you guys a submission from guard. It's called arm bar, and we're going to do it with a combination of an arm bar sweep. So let me show you. First, I'm going to attach to one arm, bring it across his body. My hand is going to grab his shoulder, keep him from posturing up. My foot goes to his hip. This foot comes over his back. I push his head out of the way. This hand goes under. Here. Tighten it up. And finish. position is called side control because we're controlling one side of his body. I'm gonna show you guys a choke from side control. So the way I tend to get it is I will take my arm over and loop like this. Reach underneath his opposite shoulder. It's important to have a good grip on the lapel. And then I start to choke.
Can you do this without gi?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm going to show you what's called a chin strap guillotine from side.